Hi, everybody. I'm Michelle Hopkins, co-host of Cincy Lifestyle, and thanks for joining me for a special edition of Come Have Coffee with Michelle, a full half hour of interviews with some of Cincinnati's most high-profile and flat-out interesting people. For instance, the CEO of FC Cincinnati. Who knew he's got a thing for singing?
Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Bound by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire.
Oh, I like it.
Artist Brent Billingsley, also the motivator.
Your gift is different than your passion. Because a lot of people go American Idol. We ain't got no business singing. So your gift is different than your passion.
Okay.
And what you love may not be your gift.
The CEO of CVG, listen to this.
I have to say I travel very lightly. Only carry on. Never check a bag. I'm telling you and your listeners, people watching, try to put it in carry on. You can move much quicker. You can adapt your flights much easier.
And Freedom Center CEO Woody Keon is quite the trumpet player. Oh, yeah. Woo! And what do you know? WLW radio host Bill Cunningham, an introvert.
I'm very introverted, and I don't like going into public.
And you talk to thousands of people every day.
200,000.
Come Have Coffee with Michelle is sponsored by Cincinnati Museum Center. They're the hometown team led by a stand-up guy. Bengals head coach Zach Taylor is hands down one of the nicest people you ever want to meet. And as I found out, full of surprises, even before the interview started. Take a look. You know, my son used to work.
I know.
You remember?
Oh, I do, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Would you say hello to him? I'm going to put a little video on you.
Sure.
He's going to love this. Okay.
What's up, Jeff? We miss you.
And just like that, Coach shows he's a class act. A coach with a passion for connecting with people, anybody and everybody. About the game ball, going to the bars. What made you decide to do that?
I think that was something that was always in the back of my mind, you know, of just experiencing what the fans get to experience. We don't ever get that. I've never tailgated in my life. I've never
Really?
gone to bars or restaurants after games. That's an element that we miss as coaches. And so you see people doing that, and you always think, man, it would be cool to be involved in that. And so it really was something that maybe it sat in the back of my mind, and then we got to the playoffs, so it became realistic. We got it done. We made it happen after the game, and it was a really fun experience that's going to go on forever.
What is one thing that people don't know about you?
That I've got degrees from four different colleges.
Really?
3 different colleges. I went to 4 different colleges. So I went to Wake Forest University, transferred to junior college, got my AA degree, transferred to Nebraska, got my bachelor's degree, went to Texas A&M, got my master's degree. So I'm well traveled when it comes to colleges and experiences.
I'll say, wow, that makes you a pretty smart guy.
I don't know that the reason I transferred is because I was a smart guy. So certainly got a lot of experiences, a lot of different places, and enjoyed every second of it.
You know, I was thinking about this. Why Cincinnati? You didn't know you had Burrow. You didn't know you're going to have Chase. Why Cincinnati? Why'd you choose Cincinnati?
Well, I'm married. I've got 4 little kids, and so the community was important for us. And I'm from Norman, Oklahoma. My wife's from Green Bay, Wisconsin. And so, you know, we've lived a lot of different places that were all great, but we wanted somewhere we could really call home. And Cincinnati reminds me of where I'm from in Norman, just the sense of community here, and the people are so great. And so, you know, and the football thing obviously is great here too as well, but but more so, you know, like you mentioned earlier before we even got started, you know, the number one people you want to please are your family. Yeah. And living here in Cincinnati has checked that box for my family.
What about the season this year? What are you expecting?
Good things, you know, but it's, you know, for us, it's still a lot of hard work ahead. Just because we've done good things in the previous 2 years doesn't mean that's just going to happen just because it's supposed to happen. You know, you still have to put in a lot of work, which our guys are doing right now. June 1st, we have unbelievable turnout at our practices right now.
You said it was voluntary, but
it's voluntary. But the attendance has been spectacular, you know, and so. But again, we're excited to get back after it once July rolls around and start putting in the real work that's going to help us do the things that we plan on doing.
I have been running and I've been in the gym. So, I mean, if you ever need like somebody to fill in, I could possibly help.
I'm willing to take you up on it. I get that a lot. I always say just meet us on the field and let's see what you can do, and nobody ever shows up.
Did Coach say no one ever shows up? Well, guess what? I'm showing up. I'm up for anything.
Okay,
I'm game.
that's not bad. It's a
See?
little bit of a shot put, but it's getting to me. So you're a lefty.
Yeah, I'm a lefty.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm nervous for you.
You're nervous for me?
Well, you're in high heels on
I
turf.
know. It's crazy. Better.
That's your best one.
Yeah.
I'm nervous right now.
Oh, you're not
I saw you almost break a heel.
Leaving the field with heels intact, a few catches and throws with the coach, that is a touchdown for me and a big old hooday. And to top it all off, Coach Taylor gave me an autographed football. How awesome is that? Go Bengals. Up next, I'm sticking with the sports theme and heading over to FC Cincinnati and visiting with the hometown favorite there, Lakota West and Xavier University grad Nick Hagland. We have something in common. He is a coffee lover, too. He's high energy on the field. He's the hometown guy, and he has a love affair with, you guessed it, coffee. At the FC Cincinnati practice field, Nick Hagland asked me to come have coffee at one of his favorite spots in the building. Oh, it's good and high octane.
And now I'm fully addicted.
I think I'm that same way, too.
Same,
Yeah.
same.
And you like it strong. I
Yeah, of
noticed
course.
that.
Yeah, I want espresso, double espresso. You know, I'll probably have it like 2 to 3 times a day, maybe 4 if I'm having a lethargic day. If the kids are running me, then I might need a 4th coffee.
Well, and I want to talk about that. You have a lovely family. I've seen pictures. Tell me about your family.
I mean, I love my family so much. I'm married to my wife. We were high school sweethearts, and she went to Miami. I went to Xavier. We stick together. Got married after my rookie season in Toronto. And we have 2 kids, Eloise, who's 5, and Charlotte, who is 1.5.
So tell me one thing that people may be surprised to learn about you.
Surprised to learn about me. I don't know how surprised.
You're out there. I mean,
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people know me, but I would say people, when it comes to like music, I really like indie, like folk music. Like I'm not really, hip hop isn't my thing. Pop really isn't my thing. Like if I'm gonna sit down and enjoy an album of some sort, it's gonna be, you know, something indie folkish, kind of like the Lumineers or Noah Kahn or, you know. I like that kind of just chill vibes rather than.
What is it about that you really like?
I don't know. I think it reminds me of a coffee shop, to be honest.
And that's kind of the opposite of what you are on the field, right?
Yeah, I'm wild. I mean, my personality would say I'm crazy. I feel like people would think that like I'm just dancing at my house all the time, just being wild, like throwing my kids up in the air, which I am a lot of the time. But when it comes to like preference of me by myself, I'm taking some music, I'm gonna just chill.
And you're a favorite of the fans. You just played your 100th game.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Tell me what's that like?
Honestly, when you don't really think about like playing 100 games, it kind of just like comes about. But I was reflecting on the day and just how cool the journey has been. Obviously, the first couple of years were tough, but last year was an incredible run, and things have been good this year. And just to like stick through it, through the dark times where things were difficult, just says a lot about my character. I feel like just grinding through nitty-gritty stuff and pushing myself and always having a good attitude. And always putting my best effort forward, and you know, at the end of the day, my journey will be my journey, but I'll know that I was, you know, true to myself the entire time.
You know, there are so many inspiring people that I get the opportunity to talk to all the time, but really 2 stand out. We're having coffee with the CEO of the Cincinnati Museum Center, Elizabeth Pierce, who is a true treasure in our community. She proves why day in and day out. And then community advocate and arts champion Alandis Powell is showing us why she's loved and admired by so many. She's on a health journey, and yet she's strong and still fighting for equity and inclusion.
They walk in the front of the building and people lose their mind. They forget why they came, because they're oh, look at the building, and it just in amazed of it all.
I'm amazed at it all. You get to be a kid again and you learn something in the process. So tell me, what is one thing that people may not know about you?
Some people might be surprised and some people may not be surprised, but I was captain of the cheerleading squad in high school. So, you know, some people are shocked by that and others are like, oh yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah. So what did you like about that?
You know, being full of energy and expressing that and encouraging other people to get engaged in the game. And I had a front row seat. Like, I can't sit in the stands at basketball games. Like, if I'm not on the floor, I'm not interested in going.
You know what strikes me about that, though? You are a cheerleader for the Cincinnati Museum Center.
Absolutely.
But there is more to Elizabeth's story. Her cancer diagnosis, her battle.
I did 6 months of chemotherapy, and that was tough. It was like a cycle of get the treatment, feel lousy, get a little energy back, go back in, get another treatment, feel lousy again. So just thinking about the ways in which we have an incredible community and being able to think about those projects that lie ahead really, you know, gave me something to gnaw on while I was feeling low. And I have 2 college-age boys and a husband and family that keep me energized with lots of sarcasm and inappropriate humor.
I won't even ask you about that. But you're an inspiration to a lot of women who are taking a similar journey. Any advice for them about how to get through this?
You know, I think for me, thinking about the things that you have control over is more important than worrying about all the things that are swirling around you. And clarity of thinking about that, you know, clarity over certainty. That was also our mantra as we were trying to work through the dynamics of COVID. And, you know, every day there was another variable, and just getting the team to practice around clarity over certainty. Life is completely uncertain. Even in the best of times, life is uncertain. But what are you clear about? What are you clear about what you want to do with your job, with your relationships, with your travel plans, with, you know, any number of things.
And focus on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I'm a big fan of the Stoics from a philosophical perspective. That's where I get that kind of idea of control what you have control over and don't worry about the rest of it.
And another thing that kept her going during her battle, her work, her passion project, this amazing place.
We're coming up on our 90th anniversary.
Yes.
And so it just gives me chills to sit here and talk to you about that, because so many people have a Union Terminal story, whether they have lived in this community or not. And to hear them and to collect them as we go around, that's inspiring.
It is something. It is a treasure. And so are you. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers to you, my friend.
We want what you want. To raise our kids.
So many creatives know their passion, but they're working at McDonald's. And not to say anything bad about working at McDonald's, but they're not working in their passion.
We want what you want. To be treated equally, fair, and just.
An advocate for arts, equity, and the community, a go-getter. But what happens when the go-getter gets stopped in her tracks?
I got home and had the stroke on the 6th on a conference call, on a Zoom call actually, and just went from there. So I didn't listen. You know what I'm saying? Yes. We just go and go, we just go. And sometimes we don't stop. Sometimes we swear if we stop, we're gonna miss something, or a promotion's gonna pass us by.
Since 2021, it's been a long road to recovery. Alanda's had to learn to walk and talk again. And she's still in physical therapy 2 years later.
And then we found out that I have a cardiac sarcoidosis, so it's in my heart. I call myself the bionic woman now because I just got a defibrillator put in a couple months ago.
What have you learned in this journey?
To listen, to sit down sometimes. And that when God gets your attention and tells you to do something, you can't defer it, you know?
Listening more, taking care of herself, and still doing what she loves through a nonprofit that focuses on Black art. And how about this? Alanda's the basketball player. Yeah. And it's something she learned from her dad. But I didn't know that you were a basketball player.
Yes, so you couldn't be in our home. if you weren't a basketball player. Yes, so people wouldn't know that about me, or just about I coached for him.
Any good though? Any good at basketball?
Yeah, I have a great jump shot. Yes, I think I still do.
You know, the fun of doing these interviews is the opportunity to highlight bright lights in our community. And these two are a few of the brightest for different reasons. Radio host Lincoln Ware, in the business for 50 years, and Molly Wellman, the mixologist. See what she's mixing up to put a little spice in our coffee cup.
Let's go to Twin. Twin, how are you?
He's been sitting in a chair in front of a mic for 50 years.
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
Hell of a long time.
As you would say, unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
So tell me, what is one thing that people don't know about you?
Oh boy, that's a good question. Probably that I'm really afraid to get up in front of people at a podium and like MC different events. That I hate that. That terrifies me. I just can't gather myself, and I'm always stumbling when I do stuff like that. I just hate it. I turn down more jobs than I take. I don't like to do it.
What is it about that?
I don't know. I can't understand. I guess I'm so used to being in a little cubby hole with my microphone, knowing they're out there, but they can't see me, I can't see them, and yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is surprising. Whatever it is about radio, Lincoln loves it. From his start in the Marine Corps to his days at WCIN, the first station for African Americans in the 50s, to WDBZ, where he spent the bulk of his career. So what is your passion? What is Lincoln Ware's passion?
Well, it would probably have to be radio. To be in this business for 50 years, you have to love it, I'm telling you, because there's some crazy stuff happens in this business. So to stay around as long as I have, which is a rarity, you have to have a passion for it. And I do. I love it. I just love going out talking to people on the radio, knowing they're listening to me, and giving them information, mixing it up with the callers and doing things like that. And I don't know what I'm going to do when I retire. I don't know. What am I going to do? I can't stop time.
He has some time to think about it. Lincoln says he's retiring after the 2024 presidential election.
It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Maybe. The real question is, what will Cincinnati do without Lincoln Ware? Your show is more than just radio. It is bringing the community together.
We're like a big family.
Yeah.
A big family.
Yeah. So what does that feel like to know that you're, how much you've done for the community and for Cincinnati?
I don't feel it. Maybe, other people see it and you don't, that happens a lot. You don't think you're doing stuff, but maybe you are.
What's clear is that Lincoln is the great connector, the glue for his audience of largely African Americans. What's also clear is that Lincoln makes a connection with just about everyone, even his counterpart down the dial, Bill Cunningham.
Lincoln v. Ware is follically challenged.
That's right.
Different political views.
He's a right-winger and I'm a liberal. So who's telling the truth? The liberals. We always tell the truth.
Different audiences, and yet these guys have a couple of things in common: the chair and that mic. I'm just glad that over the years I've gotten to know them both well. And when I call...
When Michelle Hopkins calls, you got to answer. You got to pick up the phone and say, yes, where, when, and what time. And here I am.
Thank you, Lincoln.
Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hold both and then shake, shake, shake. You are high. You look good, Miss Barton.
We are mixing it up with Molly Wellman in more ways than one. I sat down with the bright and bubbly mixologist for a little chit-chat. So what is it that you love about what you do? I mean, I can just think about everything you would love, but you tell me what you would love.
I love the people, and I love being a part of Cincinnati.
And people open up and tell you all kinds of things, I'm sure.
Oh, they do. You're totally a psychiatrist, for sure. Or a listener, But no, it's just really cool. You just get to meet so many wonderful people. I've just found a way to make it a passion.
Yeah,
So,
I was going to ask you about it. Is this your passion?
Yeah, it is. History, making drinks, making people happy, that's my passion. I just love creating experiences for people.
What is one thing that people don't know about Molly?
Well, There's a lot of people who don't know that I'm actually a jeweler as well.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
I went to school for jewelry design in San Francisco, and it was wonderful.
Really? So what made you give that up for mixologists?
Well, the world changed. It was back in early 2000s, so the world had changed. I ended up going into, I went through an apprenticeship with a master jeweler. It was really cool. It's a whole story. and then I got into the service industry after that.
It turns out that change in direction has been Cincinnati's gain. High-profile bars and restaurants with Molly's footprint all over them. The best part for Molly is it's all happened for her in her city. What do you love about Cincinnati? I mean, you've been here all your life, right?
Yeah.
West Sider?
West Side,
Yeah.
yes ma'am. So I was born and raised here. I'm a 7th generation Cincinnatian. So I love that I have my roots here, really deep here.
Almost as much as she loves Cincinnati, this girl loves making cocktails.
So I'm gonna make a little blackberry bramble. We're gonna start with some blackberries, of course. Fresh.
Okay,
Do you want to muddle?
Yeah.
Muddle all those together. And then we're gonna add our bourbon. And we have a local bourbon here, New Riff, which is just wonderful.
I'll let you have a drink. I don't think I can drink on camera,
right.
so yeah.
Oh man, cheers.
Cheers.
I'll take one more for you.
Okay, good. And that is it for this special brew of Come Have Coffee. You can fill up your cup every Wednesday at 10 a.m. to learn more about interesting, fun, and high-profile people in the Cincinnati region. Make it a great day. Cheers.